as we talk about Vishnu, I feel a little insecure really diving super deep into that because I'm not a Hindu. I don't hold Vishnu as a god that I worship or know a ton about. And so I felt pretty self-conscious about coming in, trying to explain to people about Vishnu when I know very little. But as I was studying and researching, what's very apparent about Vishnu, he is the preserver, is that he always comes into the story to balance things out, to balance evil and good, and to, I wouldn't say save the day, but just restore order. And that looks different in every story. He has anywhere from 10 to 24 avatars. So you'll hear that he has 10, 9 have already incarnated. The 10th is waiting to come, which is very similar to in Passover, we're waiting for Elijah, we're waiting for the Messiah. Christianity has that. There's actually a form of that in almost every single major religion. So his 10th avatar hasn't come yet. It will come at the end of the Kali Yuga, which is the current time we are in, which is a time of great disillusionment and societal dissolve. Can you believe it? And some predict that end is coming in 2025. So hold on to your butts. So Vishnu comes in either 10 or 24 times, but he always comes in as an avatar, or not always, but mostly comes in as an avatar. And avatar means to cross through, or it implies a bridge of some sort. They have to pass through something or over something. And he comes in to restore balance. And so why we shared our, favorite story at the beginning is because I'm not here to tell you how the story goes. I'm not here to tell you how to interpret the story or how to, take the story and move it into your life. What I'm most curious about right now is, what is our modern day Vishnu? And are you the Vishnu in your story? Like, are you the Kurma, which is the tortoise story of Vishnu, the avatar of Vishnu, or are you the boar version of Vishnu? And so, every single one of us is the hero in our story. And if you believe that you have no agency and that we're all just puppets on a string, then this will probably be a hard concept for you to take on as your own. But if you believe in free will, if you believe in agency in this world, then you get to play whatever parts you want to play. And certainly there's karma, and certainly there are forces outside of ourselves that will play into that we can't predict. But as we're living through this unprecedented time, what I've gotten curious about myself is, what am I going to pass through or pass over to become? Who will I look back and say, that was who I was in that moment? That was the character I played in the story. And we're going to be studying the Bhagavad Gita in 2 weeks in our evening course we're calling Yoga Nerd Out Sessions. And one way we can interpret that story is that you are every character in the story. Like when we look at the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, you can isolate each character. You can say, how am I each character in the story? And so, again, I'm not here to tell you how to interpret that, but the interesting thing about avatars and the interesting thing about the pantheon of gods and goddesses are, unlike our Judeo-Christian gods, where they are all wholesome and all their choices are pure, gods and goddesses embody all the facets of possibility. That we did a meditation yesterday to Durga, who's this ferocious goddess. But she's a ferocious goddess because she's the goddess of protection, and we call to her when we want to be protected. So what I'd invite you to look at is, what part are you playing? Do you play many parts? And how are you going to look back at this time? And how are you going to look back and see what part you played or what parts you played? So every week I title my classes, and today's class is titled Once Upon a Time. And then from there, it's up to you to write what comes next. So the practice today is advanced. Do what you can, let go of what you can't, much like life. Life is advanced. What we're in right now, I would call is a level 3 chaos class of life. We've entered level 3. You better get your props. You better take child's pose when you need it, because this is intense, okay? So this is gonna be a little like sculpting mini world of what we're going through right now. Just like what you're going through right now, sometimes you're like, yeah, I am gonna write that novel. And then other days you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch all Harry Potters back to back with no pants on and do it again for 24 hours straight. You know, that's the story we're in, right? And so you've got to pick and choose when you Netflix hard and when you decide to like take on the world and bring your neighbor's groceries. So it's a difficult flow. There are lots of difficult postures in it. I tried to do a pose for all 10 avatars of Vishnu. I was unsuccessful because one of them is a dwarf, and it just didn't feel right. And all the options of like how I could make a dwarf pose were just completely off. So we're not going there. And there was a boar pose, and I thought about like we could like snort at each other, and then I was like, okay, too far. So I think I've gotten to like 6. And 2 of them involve lotus, and lotus can be highly injurious on your knee. So that again is the time to decide, do I Netflix or do I rally? And I want you to listen to your bodies. I know a few of you texted me with some injuries. I will do my best, yes, Toonie, to let you know which avatar I'm talking about. I'll probably forget sometimes, but at the end I can also send out the book list and the avatars because they're really interesting. So yeah, it is intense. There are some funny poses in there. If you have a blanket, grab it. If you don't have a blanket, but you have a hard floor, socks are great. Blocks and straps would be helpful. If you don't have those things, just, you know, just like the story we're in currently, do the best with what you have, and that's plenty. And you don't lose any points for not having them, okay? So do what you can. On one side, I can't even do one of the poses. So, you know, take that note from my playbook. And let's begin, and let's do some sun A's. We've been sitting for a very long time. Let's do some sun A's, and we'll invoke, and then we'll get into it. So start at the top of your mat. Put on a little music from myself. So start standing at the top of your mat. And just start to wake up the proprioceptors in your feet and your ankles. So start to move around the feet. Our peak pose this week is Garudasana, or eagle pose, so balancing posture. And if you're working from home a lot, you might be walking less, so just wake up your feet. You can, you know, walk up some imaginary stairs. Oh, wait, I think it's both hands. Yeah, I've got a very narrow banister here. Yeah, you can do, you know, that, or just roll through. And then find yourself as narrow of a stance as possible. So some of us might have the inner edges of our feet touching, others of us that might look slightly wider. Whatever you can manage to get your legs as narrow as possible. Firm your quadriceps. Draw your palms forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Close your eyes. Feel that shift as if a wind has just come into your room, is knocking you around a little bit. That natural shift. Try to hug in towards the midline, towards your core. Squeeze your inner legs together, and then embrace that subtle shift. Just when we think the peak of the story has come, another wind change occurs. And who will you be in that storm? So on your next breath in, reach your arms up, start to open your eyes. Exhale, toe heel the feet wider than the hips, bend the knees a lot, forward fold over your legs. Let's take 3 breaths here. Shake your head out, sway a little. Inhale, bring your fingertips to your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale as you fold, plant your palms, step your feet back, plank pose. If you prefer tabletop, live your life. Inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, retract your scapula, lift your heart, fire your erector muscles, the muscles around your spine. Baby cobra. Exhale, let's take child's pose. Press your hips to your heels. One way that Vishnu arrives is Krishna, Bala Krishna, baby Krishna. So don't forget to return to in the story, in your practice of playfulness. A baby-like joy of getting on your mat today. Inhale to arrive back to tabletop, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Look forward, inhale. Walk your feet slowly forward as you exhale. Coming back to that standing forward fold, bend your knees a lot. Shake your head. Next breath in, lengthen your spine, fingertips to your shins. Let's keep the length, firm your legs, take your hands to your hips. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach the arms up. Exhale, right back down, fold. Adding a little more breath and movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms plant to the earth. Step your feet back, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, right back down, fold. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms plant, feet go back, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga or to your belly. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Everybody, deep breath in and out. If you're not already in child's pose, lower your knees to the mat. If you're in child's pose, pick your chest up. We'll come to a comfortable seat one last time before we really get moving. Sitting up nice and tall, palms facing the ceiling, eyes come to a close. Take a moment to center and ground. And take this moment to start your story. The title of this class is Once Upon a Time. You are in the midst of the greatest adventure of your life. Who will you be in that adventure? How will you either employ avatars of the God or higher being, higher collective of your understanding, or will you become those parts? Give yourself permission on your mat today to explore how you will move forward in the story. How you will look back on this time as the story of your life. Take a deep breath in. And a big breath out. You know the Anusara invocation. Feel welcome to join us. Deep breath in. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Ishprapanchaya Shantaya Nirmambhaya Tejase. Deep breath in. Big breath out. Inhale for the sound of Om one time. Draw your hands to heart center. Bow your chin towards your chest. And today, instead of setting an intention, see if you can come up with your character name. So this is an activity we did in our goal setting in the Apocalypse last Sunday. So I've given myself the name Shannon Overall Denny. Denny's my maiden name, sounds better than Grosvenor. But think of something, first name, nickname, last name, that will help you tell the story. That as you're on your mat, you can work out what your story is, who you are being in this moment of your story. And if you're unsure what that name is, then take the practice to ruminate on it. Deep breath in. Let it go. Start to softly open your eyes. And we'll make our way onto our backs into happy baby pose. Draw yourself onto your back. Happy baby. Knees to armpits. Start to rock from side to side. Especially now, since we're not in the studio, I always make the joke to giggle and fart, but nobody is here. Brittany and I were laughing at, actually Purvi and I were laughing at how often we fart in a class, and now the audio is so bad that you can't hear it. So we're just letting them rip over here, if you're wondering. Take one more breath. Then come into figure 4 with the right ankle crossed over the left knee. So placing your left foot down on the ground, take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, draw your legs towards your chest, hands on the left shin, pull your legs towards your chest. If your right elbow is accessible to your right inner thigh, right inner knee, use it to press the right knee forward. And then notice if your pelvis has shifted. So my right hip will drop down. Can you level your pelvis again? So both hip points are even. Take a deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. Good. Release your left foot to the earth. Keep it on the ground. Take your right leg to the ceiling. Take your hands around your right inner hamstrings. Maybe up to the calf, ankle, or foot, depending on how flexible you are. Draw your shoulder heads together. Draw your shin towards your face. Stretch. All the while, notice if your tailbone is lifting off the mat. Try to keep natural curves of the spine. So sacrum is anchored. Inhale here. As you exhale, see if you can flex at the elbows a bit more. Stretch a bit deeper. Notice how when your knee is bent, you can go a little further in this stretch. One more breath. We're going to use the left foot on the ground to help us leverage as we draw the right leg forward, coming up to a seated position. Now you'll want your hands, depending on how challenging this is for you, you might walk your hands more forward, which is going to help. We're going to be lifting this right leg. So take your right hand to your quadriceps and feel the front of your thigh. Your quadriceps, firm those muscles underneath. Liam, this is for you and your hamstring. So firm those muscles. Hands closer to you is going to make it harder. Hands further away is easier. Go ahead and lift your right leg up in the air and set it back down. Notice if you're curling a lot or leaning away. Lift it up, back down. Try to keep neutral spine. 3, squeeze your quads. 4, this one's fun. 5, oh God. 6, I've been doing this with my kids sitting on my leg. 7, Megan kids, something for you to try right now. 8, 9, you should feel your quads, yes? 10, good. Let the right leg lower. Take your right arm around your left leg. Maybe just hold on to the shin. Left hand behind you as you twist. Deep breath in, sit taller. Exhale, go a little deeper. Good. Inhale, come back through center. 3 options here. First is to come into Sukhasana and fold. Second, keep the right leg extended. Cross the left knee on top of the right for a half Gomukhasana. And third is to bend your right heel next to your left seat for full Gomukhasana legs. We're just looking for a stretch in the hips. So whatever that is for you, Sukhasana, half Gomukhasana, full thing, doesn't matter. Just go for a stretch in the hips. Deep breath in. Full breath out. One more deep breath in and out. Good. Inhale, sit up tall. Uncross your legs. Bring your knees into your armpits, your hands by your feet. Come back to your back. Happy baby. This time, see if you can keep your sacrum flat and see if you can tap each knee to the side respective of its mat. Maybe as you pause in the center, you try to pull your legs actively down and try to get your knees to the mat. LOL for me, but maybe for you. One more breath. Then release, right foot down, left ankle crosses, flex your left foot, draw your legs towards your chest, grab onto your shin or hamstrings of your right leg, push your left elbow into your left knee if that's accessible, and stretch. So we will be working towards Kurmasana, which is a big hamstring stretch. So anyone with hamstring issues, don't do that pose later. But one thing we can do with hamstring stretching to protect us is to engage our quads, super important. So release your right foot to the ground, extend your left leg, and even here, tone those quads of the left as you lift your left foot towards your face. I've torn this hamstring, one of these hamstrings, and the thing that's the saving grace for that is quad, contraction to help offset the stretch of the hamstring, to help balance it. So it's its own little Vishnu. It comes in and balances the situation. Take one more breath. Using the right foot on the ground, you're going to swing yourself up to seat. Hands are either forward or by your side, sitting up nice and tall. 10 on this side. Contract your left quads. Lift the leg up. 1, 2, 3. Try not to lean back like I'm doing. 4, 5. Oh God. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let that left foot come down. Right hand behind you. Left arm hugs or hooks around the right knee as you twist. Deep breath in to sit up. Move your navel towards your spine as you exhale and twist. Last deep breath here. Good. Inhale, unwind. Again, Sukhasana with the other foot in front, or Ardha Gomukhasana, right knee on top, left leg extended, or left foot back by your right hip, right foot towards your left, and fold. 3 deep breaths here in your hip stretch. Last deep breath here. Now be conscious of your knees. We're coming into tabletop. So some of you might be able to just roll forward, undo the legs. Others of you, that might be a bad choice for your knees. So get creative. Come into tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tuck your toes, lift your knees 1 inch off the floor, keep neutral spine, hug your navel up and in. We're gonna start to take little crawls to the top and bottom of our mat, trying to move as minimally from side to side, so don't do what I'm doing, as much as possible. So we're trying to move in one fixed piece, and it can help if you go opposite hand and foot. That can help you minimize that. Do just a couple more breaths, couple more rounds. Ugh. And then come into table with the knees lifted, pause. Take a deep breath in, steady breath out. You're gonna shift your heels to the left side of the mat. Give your right foot and left hand your weight as you stretch your left leg long. Inhale, take your right hand to the mat. Shift your booty and your hips over to the right side of the mat. Lift your left arm. Extend your right leg. So we're just gonna keep this little jig going for a couple of rounds. Spinning, waking up our core, waking up our arms. If you want more, next time your heels spin to the left, your left leg lifts up. Try to tap your hand and foot. Spin around, tap hand and foot. If that seems like fun, once you get there, tap hand and foot. Maybe you grab the foot, reach it forward. A little stretch in the hamstrings or adductors. Okay, just a couple more rounds. Maybe you start to straighten that back leg a little. You're not going in a full Vishnu. Just waking up the legs, arms, and core. 3, woo, 2, I'm dying, and 1, downward facing dog. Nice job. Fun, yeah? Whew. Deep breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Tone those quads, protect your hamstrings. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Great work. Employ your core just like you did in that little exercise as you come into Utkatasana chair pose. And if you're like me and your arms are tired, you can take your hands to your hips. And just start to bounce. Little bounce, little bounce, little bounce. Yeah, it's like naughty girl yoga, you know? Little bounce, or boy, whatever. Then start to shift your weight to your right foot, pick up your left, little bounce. And then shift your weight to your left foot, pick up your right, little bounce. Feel those proprioceptors. Little bounce, shift your weight to your right foot, pick up your left. You can do this with your arms because it looks cool. It also gives them a break. Just keep going. 2 more times, 1 on each side. Right leg takes the weight, left leg lifts up. You should be feeling your booty muscles. Good, right foot comes down, hold here. Static hold, push your knees out, breathe. 3. Lift your chest up, 2. And 1. Inhale, stand up. Nice job, shake it out. All right, the right leg is going to start. I will be moving on each side of the mat so you can hear me, so I'm not facing the back. You will just keep facing the same direction the whole time, or the starting direction, I should say. So, come into your chair again, but this time, shift your weight to your right foot, and like we did on the floor, lift your left leg. That can be right off the mat, it can be parallel, but squeeze those quads, push your right knee out, little bounce. Focus your eyes on one point, little bounce. Good, stay here. 3, 2, keep pushing your butt back, keep reaching your weight into your right heel. 1, static as you start to take the arms out, the leg out. Static as you start to take the leg back and across. Left foot is still off the ground. Left arm's gonna try to reach down, little airplane arms. If you need help, put your left hand down. Deep breath in here. As you exhale, come back, warrior 3. Keep pushing to the heel of the right foot. Stretch your arms up, straighten your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to the back of the mat. Left hand down. right arm up, twist, very nice. Inhale here. Good, firm through your left hand. As you exhale, tap left knee to left tricep. Inhale, straighten the leg back. Exhale, tap left knee, left tricep. Inhale, straighten back. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Hold here. Switch your left knee behind your right. Pause here, maybe come up to your fingertips. Maybe hands to your heart, get that right butt cheek on fire. Whoa. Now we're gonna slide it down and take a seat. Having fun yet? Pull yourself in towards your right shin. If both butt cheeks can't be down, bring your right foot in front of your left knee. Take your right arm up on an inhale. Exhale, take the right hand behind you. Matsyendrasana. So this is one of Vishnu's avatars, is the fish, which some will equate this to the Noah and the Ark, or the Jonah and the whale story. So he shows up as a really big fish, Matsya. Sounds a lot like matzah, and I just had a seder, so feeling a lot of crossover. Take one more breath here. All right, now we're gonna turn toward our left shoulder. You might wanna, oh wait, just kidding, we're not doing it yet. Take your right peace fingers to your big toe, hold you. Take your right knee back like you're gonna lay back in half happy baby, but then straighten your left leg. From here, left hand to your right foot towards your left armpit. We're gonna cradle that leg. Coming into a cradle baby. Stretch out that hip that's done so much work. Woo! Don't worry, you only have to do 2 rounds of each side. One more breath. Now, the right foot is going to go across the body. You're going to spin toward your left shoulder until you come up into this like half runner's lunge thing. So my right leg has the weight, my left leg is back. I'm gonna place my hands on the ground. Option 1 is to lift the leg up, curl the knee in, step it through, plant the palms. Lift the leg, curl the knee, step it through, plant the palms until you're at the top of your mat. Option 2 is, with that left foot back, right foot forward, hands planted, is to straighten the arms and try to jump switch. As I jump switch, I place my hands forward, kick, kick, oh God, kick, jump switch until you get all the way to the back of your mat. Okay, once you get there, have your right foot back forward, cross your left foot behind your right, and we'll take a cross-legged forward fold. I'm gonna come and show you what I mean from the front. Looks like that. Try to seal both inner edges of your feet down. Breathe. If you need blocks here, use blocks. Last deep breath. We're gonna bend into the knees, so the right heel will lift, left heel takes the weight. As we peel the chest up, arms come out to goalpost. Asana, our peak pose option is stay here, or pick up the right foot, or even wrap it around. Right arm goes under, either hug, backs of the hands touch, or full grasp. And then firm your outer hips as you sit lower. Squeeze your outer hips in as you sit lower. Breathe. Last deep breath. Inhale as you stand up, stay on your left leg, pull your right foot into your left inner thigh, Vrikshasana tree pose. So someone said the giving tree, someone said a tree grows in Brooklyn. So return to once upon a time. How are you going to show up in the story? How have you shown up? Does that need to change? Do you need to plant a tree? Maybe the arms go up. Max said, oh, the places you'll go, maybe you're more like the Lorax. The story, in my view, is up to you. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Slowly set the right foot down and shake it out. Good news, I didn't think through this, but I don't have to turn around and neither do you. We'll all be going the same way because it goes to the other side. So find your feet hip width distance. Push your hips back, reach your arms up. Utkatasana chair pose. Really think about going back in your heels. We want that booty to light up and then start to bounce. And then start to shift your weight to your right foot, pick up your left. So just like that tree pose, we get these moments of pause in the story, right? These little lulls. But then it's right back at it. There's another day. There's another thing. Just notice who you are as those transitions occur too. How do you yield to them? How do you participate in them? Once upon a time. Come back to chair. Push your knees out, load your heels, inhale. Exhale, stand it up. Good. Inhale back to chair. If your arms are tired, hands can come to your hips. Bring your weight to your left foot, pick up your right, and then stretch your right leg forward. Hone your quads. Breathe. Push your weight back, load your left booty cheek. Start to take that leg out. As you take the leg out, take the arms out. Start to take the leg back and across. Right arm goes down. If you need support, just take it to the floor. Otherwise, keep it up. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, take it back. Warrior three. Start to straighten your left leg. Make a choice with your arms. Inhale here. Exhale, right foot to the back of the mat. Right hand down. Left arm up. Twist. Deep breath in. Steady breath out. Look down to your right arm. Firm your right arm. Inhale here. Exhale, tap. Right knee to right tricep. Inhale, go back. Exhale, tap. Inhale, go back. Exhale, tap. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, switch it behind your left knee. Curl your heel to your seat. Either hands on the ground. Maybe, whoa, hands to heart center. And we slide that leg down. Great work. Coming into Matsyendrasana on the other side. Left foot is either over or in front of the right knee. Sit up nice and tall. Take the left hand back. Right arm reaches up. Either twist with it around the leg, hooking, find whatever serves you. Inhale to find length. Exhale to twist. Breathe. Last deep breath. Inhale to come forward. Left peace fingers, find left big toe. You're gonna pull it back like half happy baby. Stretch your right leg forward. So we're coming to, forget the Sanskrit, but it's archer's pose. Right now, just work on pulling that knee back. Then we're gonna take it into cradling the baby, so stretching out that left hip a bit. Should feel good. Whew. Try to sit up tall. Notice if you're curling away from your leg. Can you keep a neutral spine? Think about that leg drill we did earlier. One more breath. Left foot's gonna go outside of your right leg. You're gonna turn toward your right shoulder. You're gonna spin up into this like preparatory pounce pose. And you can either just walk your leg through, getting a little core work here, or you can jump switch all the way to the top of the mat. So choose your poison as we come all the way to standing at the top of our space. And then our left foot is going to be in front, our right foot behind for a cross-legged forward fold. So take a moment here to stretch through your hips once you get to the top of your space. And we're gonna bend deeply into our knees. Our left heel will peel up. Our torso will lift up. Arms come to goal post. Gaze is steady. Left arm under right, either hug, tap, or hold. Squeeze the outer hips in, like somebody's holding your butt cheeks, completely consensually. Holding your butt cheeks, squeezing them in. And then maybe the foot lifts, or wraps, or taps. Squeeze the outer butt cheeks. Just sit a little lower to create stability as I stand in the forward. Squeeze in to find stability. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Inhale, stand all the way up. Keep that leg engaged. Step your left foot to the inner right leg. Open the fronts of your hips. Find your Vrikshasana tree pose. Steady your gaze, steady your breath. Think back to your favorite story. What happens in the pause? When they're resting in the meadow, when they're doing nothing. Every story is different, but most stories I know is that's when the storm is coming. So pause here, enjoy it, knowing there's more to come. Once upon a time. Deep breath in and out. Last deep breath in and out. Good, slowly release your arms. Step your left foot down, take a quick break before we go back for our second round. So, I have a few activities for you. I like activities. The first will involve a blanket, or you could do socks on your feet. I actually prefer socks for this drill, but I'll show it with the blanket. All right, actually no, I'm gonna show it with socks because that's what I like. So as I grab my socks, how are we doing out there in yoga land? Everybody okay? I'm gonna show 3 things because Stephanie reached out about headstand, and I'm gonna give an option for handstand too. So we're gonna work core, headstand, or handstand. So first one is a core drill. You'll wanna be able to slide. You're gonna come into plank pose with wide legs. Okay, and as I come in, like I'm gonna pike my hips, I'm gonna squeeze my legs like Varudasana, slide out, squeeze my legs in, slide out, squeeze my legs in. Okay, if you can't get your hips that high, that's okay. It might be back down here, but it's like a crisscross movement, and I'm working that knees into my belly thing, pulling into the midline, legs like eagle. Okay, so if you want to do that, try like 2 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10, whatever you can get through. If you're working headstand, I would do 1 or 2 like that, and then come into headstand, because that is critical. And for today, I don't really care what arm variation you do, hands, head, whatever, but I want you to start like our core drill, feet wide, which helps get the hips a bit higher, I think. Then cross your legs and see if you can come up with crossed legs, okay? You can either stay there or unravel in the air, cross them the other way. See if you can come down with crossed, take the legs wide, and pause. Okay, so my headstanders, that's something to play with. If you're working handstand, this will require that you have a stable handstand. Arguably, I don't today, so we'll see how this goes. But trying to come up any way you want. And then once you're in the air, playing with crossing your legs. Oh, thank God on camera she has it. Okay? So I'm gonna come watch you with my coffee. If you have questions about handstand or any of this, you can come off mute or pop them in the message box. Otherwise, playtime. Vishnu also embodies Leela, cosmic play. I feel like last week was our version of that, you know, like it was so sunny, it was so beautiful. It was like our little break, our little gift of play, and then it's 40 degrees. All right, so back at the top of your mat, we're gonna do this one more time. Like I said, take what you want to do, let go of the rest. Some days you're gonna have Netflix, some days you're gonna be driven to run for president. There is space in the story for both. So, Utkatasana, chair pose, take a deep breath in. Sit your weight back and into your heels. Go ahead, shift your weight to your right foot, pick up your left, little bounce. Stay here, find some steadiness. Kick your left leg forward. Take your arms out, inhale. Shift your weight back to your right heels. You exhale, start to take that leg around. This time, as your left arm reaches towards the ground, you might stay here. You might bring the left hand to the ground. You might grab the outer left foot, bend your right knee and come into grasshopper, variation of grasshopper. You might not. And then press back up to that. Little twisted pose, take an inhale. Stretch your leg, left leg back, arms forward. Warrior 3, another inhale. Hands to heart center. Curtsy, tap that knee behind your other knee. Maybe you maintain that the whole way down. Option to take Matsyendrasana again, or coming into an arm balance. Hands will come down. I'm using my right foot and my left shin to pick myself up. I can bring in both elbows or just keep the left elbow attached to the outer right knee as I pick my legs up like evil.As. So something to play with there, or hang out in one of the avatars, Matsyendrasana. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. If you're in the arm balance, return back to the ground. Start to pivot yourself forward. Take your right peace fingers to your right big toe. Pull your right knee back. Stretch your left leg long. Option to return to cradle the baby. Or right foot back, trying to get our right knee behind our right armpit. Bend your left knee if you need to capture your left foot. Ideally, the left leg is straight. The right leg is lifted. I'm not sure I can do it on the ground. I can do it floating in boat. But the full pose is, I think, down here. One of Vishnu's avatars is Rama. Rama is a famous archer. He also incarnates as Krishna in the story of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is a great archer. You are every character in the story in some ways. One more breath and whatever you chose. Good work. Let that go. Take your right foot across. Spin yourself around. Once again, little core work or jump switches to the top of your mat. Having fun, playing with it. We'll meet at the top of our mat with our right foot crossed in front of our left. Forward folding. Bending into our left knee. Arms come to our goal post. Garudasana. Option is stay here. Maybe you want to tap and hover, elbows to knee. Squeezing in. Garuda is the vehicle in which Vishnu rides upon. But inhale to come back up. 3 options here as you lift your right foot. Maybe we just hang out in Vrikshasana. Option 1. One of the symbols that Vishnu carries is a lotus. So option 2, to come into half lotus. Right foot, I won't be mirroring you, right foot to the inner left thigh. You might hold the foot here. You might use a strap or bind your right hand around to come to Ardha Baddha Padma. Or you might try something called horse pose. The 10th avatar of Vishnu rides in as a warrior on a horse. Sounds like another story of another religious tale at the end of the world, but I digress. So if you're wanting to try horse pose, we have to, prerequisite is lotus. If you have any pain in the knee, no bueno. You're gonna start to bend at the waist and forward fold. You're gonna toe heel your left foot, again, I won't be able to mirror you, out as you set your right knee down. Super intense. So take this step by step. As your left foot is down, you might be able to prop yourself up. And the final point is interlacing your hands in Garudasana arms. Now your hips are supposed to be totally open. Not a thing for me. If you are taking any of those lotus variations, be very conscious as you come out with your right knee. If you're in tree, go ahead, land it, root it. We'll all meet back standing at the top of our mat, shaking it out. Horse pose. Nice job. Last time through on the other side. Let's stand into asana for a second. Close your eyes. So you know what's coming, you know what conflict, what joy, what play might be ahead of you on the path. Now, who will you be? What character will you take on the journey? Once upon a time. On your next inhale, open your eyes, sit your hips back, Utkatasana, chair pose, give weight to your left foot as you scoop your right leg up and forward. Maybe a little bounce here, get that glute engaged. Good, start to take the leg out, start to take the leg back. As your right arm reaches, maybe you just pause, maybe right hand to the ground, maybe you grab your left foot, you sit down in your baby grasshopper, and then picking it back up. Warrior 3 here. Reach, reach, reach. Hands will come to heart center, right knee behind your left. Slowly sitting down, using the glutes to create that. As you either come into your twist, again, let's see the fish, one of Vishnu's avatars, or hands come down, right shin, left foot, help you press up, squeezing your legs in, taking Garudasana legs in your side throw. Wherever you are, breathe. Last breath. Unravel, beautiful job. Left peace fingers to left big toe. Stretch your right leg out. Option to hang out here, return to your cradle baby pose. Or archer, left foot back by your ear using your core. Stretching your right leg long. Trying to pull that foot back to your ear, super hard pose. Breathe. One more breath. Nice job, release. Left foot goes to the outside of your right leg. Spin over your right shoulder. Lift your hips again, either jump switches or little core steps to the front of the mat. We're almost to the victory line. Left foot will be forward. Right leg will be back as you take a twist leg forward fold. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Bend your knees, heel will lift. Right arm goes over left. Either you hook, you pause, you squeeze your outer hips, maybe you nest your eagle, maybe you don't. Steadying your eyes, slowing your breathing as you stand all the way up. Options in 3s. Vrikshasana is 1. Ardha Padma, that half-bound lotus, is 2. Or trying to move into horse pose, which I can't really do on this side. So if you're going to take horse pose, you may need something soft underneath your left knee. And it's a lot on that knee. So for me, that's as far as I can go without causing injury. Maybe you can go further, bring your arms into Garudasana. Maybe not. Remember to be quite gentle and generous as you take your knee out. If you're in Ardha Padma or half lotus or tree, go ahead, start to root that tree. Great job, you guys. Take a shake of the legs, shake of the arms, deep breath in, and sigh it out. Nice job. Any fancy way you want to get to your butt, that's where we're going. So take a seat. I would probably face the long edge of my mat. For this, we're going to first take Baddha Konasana. So if your knees are feeling a little fatigued from the half lotus work, you can come into more of a wide angle Baddha Konasana. Swing your tailbone back. Start to fold into whatever variation. If you're keeping the heels close to your pubic bone. Really pull on your heels to create that traction of the spine and fold. Slow down your breath. Inhale to rise up. You can either stay seated and do this breath, or come to your knees. Knees are going to be wide, big toes together. Hands back. We're going to release some of the heat from our practice and also come into what's called simhasana. Simhasana is lion's pose. It incorporates a pranayama, and Simha was one of Vishnu's avatars. So it goes like this. Remember, we're also talking about play and being silly. So as you inhale, you're going to widen your eyes, take everything big. And as you exhale, you're going to stick out your tongue and let it go. Inhale, widen your eyes, stick out your tongue, and let it go. Try it with me for 3 more times. Inhale, big bright eyes. Exhale, everything's big. 2 more, inhale. Stick out your tongue. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Good work. Coming back onto your seat. I'm going to give you 2 options here. If you've got any hamstring stuff, stick with the knees bent option. So I guess I'm giving 2.5. So the first version is to keep the knees bent and focus more on the spine getting a stretch as we reach the arms forward. Second would be to come into evil.As, so straightening the legs and stretching our arms forward. Third would be moving toward Kurmasana, which Kurma is one of the avatars of Vishnu, is to bend the knees, start with the forward fold. If you're already experiencing quite a bit of challenge here, you can stay here or walk the knees in a little bit and bring your hands back. So I'm shooting for kind of like our archer pose, my foot trying to get to my face, my knee over my shoulder. Option to stay here or straighten the legs and fold. Some people will be able to bring their hands to their low back, maybe even touching. Find a forward fold, Kurmasana, Upavishtakonasana, or some variation. Last deep breath here. If you're in Kurmasana, bring your heels closer to your midline, then walk your hands out. Then slowly bring your legs in. Little shake, knees in and out. Good work. We're going to come onto our backs. We did a little bit with our hands, so the back bend bridge I'm going to show has your hands underneath your heels, and then you're dragging your heel and your hand away from each other. Just give a little traction on the wrist. If that doesn't happen for you, you can clasp the hands or any other variation. We'll do 2 bridge poses. Also welcome to do supported bridge. So coming onto your backs, if you're going with me, get your heels pretty close and lift up onto the balls of your feet. Slide the heels of your hands underneath the heels of your feet. So palms of your hands moving toward the wrist line if you can. Pinch your shoulder blades together, and on an inhale, lift your hips, drag your pubic bone towards your knees, and then pull. You can actually grab onto your heels and pull away as you tuck your shoulders underneath you, stretching through your wrists. Keep reaching your knees away from your pubic bone. Steady your breath. Last deep breath. To come out, lift up onto the balls of the feet. Take your arms out by your sides. roll down. Pause at the bottom, don't pull your knees into your chest or anything, just pause, let your heels come down. Option to repeat that, to take full wheel down your asana, or any other variation of a back bend. So for me, I'm gonna take the triceps down, lift up, use the triceps to leverage, and walk my hands underneath my sacrum for a little support, little wrist stretch. Define what serves you. Keep dragging the knees away from the pubic bone towards the knees, and breathe. Inhale, lift your hips a bit higher, unravel your arms, roll yourself down. This time, walk your knees in to touch your feet as wide as your mat. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a moment here to take any final stretches. One I might suggest is a little crescent moon. Laterally bending side to side would be a nice final stretch. If you feel pretty whooped, so W-H, whooped. You can make your way immediately to Shavasana. If you have socks, articles of clothing, feel welcome to grab those. Once you arrive in Shavasana, completely yield to it. Today we're going to sit in Shavasana for 5 minutes. I won't be speaking during this time. I haven't left. The video has not stopped. So my encouragement to you is in this 5 minutes to rest deeply and fully. Take a deep breath in. Big breath out. Our 5 minutes begins now. On your next breath, feel your ribs, your belly, your chest expand. As you exhale, make an audible sound out. Begin to gently move into a seated posture. No rush to get here. Taking gentle movements back into the body. Moving your head from side to side. Starting to make your way to your seat. Keeping the eyes closed. As you come to your seated posture, focus your awareness at the space 1 inch above your eyebrows, your third eye center. Very simply and silently, chant the sound of Om at that space. You might have each Om follow the length of a breath and exhale. One of the symbols that Vishnu carries is the Om. So continually repeating Om at your third eye. Om including all the parts of the story, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Knowing that the story you're in has those elements, a beginning, a middle, and an end, that even from Vishnu, Brahma, the creator God, is born at his navel. Even in the middle of the story, new beginnings and endings are occurring all the time. Refocusing at your third eye and repeating to yourself 3 more times the sound of Om. And drawing your hands to your heart center, bowing your chin toward your chest. Beginning as we ended, once upon a time. Taking a moment to fill in that blank. Maybe repeat your character name, Shannon Overall Denny, or whoever that is that you're going to play the part of, the avatar in which you will move through this moment as to restore balance, or create new balance, who are you going to be in the story? How will your history books remember you? And what of that do you leave to divine intervention, and what of that do you feel is your own agency? Take a deep breath in and sigh out. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank each other for this practice, this community. As we bow to seal our time together. Namaste.